So this is a video on your first step to budgeting. What is the first step to budgeting, you ask? The first step to budgeting is simply looking at what you are spending. Just looking at it. It's that simple. But the question is, how are you going to look at what you are spending? Are you going to look at How are you going to look at this is what I'm spending on food, this is what I'm spending on gas, on rent, on entertainment, etc., etc.? Well, there are many ways to do that. You could make your own template. You could write these things down on a sticky note from time to time. But if you like what you see in this video, you can use this template for free. I've left it in the description below. So before we get into the steps of how to fill out this template, I'd like to explain the overall layout really quickly. So on the left side, we have our months from January to December. And then after that, we have income. So this is the money in. So maybe you're just doing a budget for you. And if you are, you can just right click on the letter C up here and say delete column. So it's just for you. You put your name here. But if you are maybe doing this with a spouse, you can put both of your names here. So what is the total amount of money you guys are making? So how much money are you making? How much money is your spouse making for each month? After that comes dollar destinations. So usually people just say expenses. I call it dollar destinations because I've included savings in here. And savings is money for you that you save. So that's a location where you put your money. You could call it whatever you want. We're going to call it dollar destinations. Charity, saving, rent, electricity, yada yada yada. So all the way to car gas, groceries, etc., etc. And then on the very right, we have leftover for checking. So after, let's say you made $2,000 this month and you spent $1,800, how much are you going to have left over? Well, you're going to have $200 left over. And this template does the math for you. That's why it's on Excel. So when you put in those numbers, how much did you make? How much did you spend? It will show you how much you have left over automatically. So this is how much you will have left over for each month. So after you've made your paycheck for the month of January, and after you've spent everything for the month of January, how much do you have left over? That'll show here. The next part is your checking balance. So this will show you about how much you will have in your checking account months ahead of time, depending on your spending habits. And then your savings account, same. It should show you about how much you'll have in your savings account months ahead of time, depending on your spending habits. So you heard me say months ahead of time. So how does this show you what you'll have months ahead of time? Well, let's say we're in the month of February, okay, and you record everything you made and then everything you spent in the month of January and in the month of February. All you have to do is take the average of those numbers and drag them down, and it'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you what that means later on. So it's kind of a projection. It'll show you, how much money will you have in the month of July. Maybe you're saving up for a car. Are you going to have enough money for a car? If you keep spending the same way you keep spending, and if you keep, making the same amount of money, how much will you have 5 months from now? That's what this is designed to show you. So it's very, very helpful for that. And so if you're not going to have enough money 5 months from now, what should you do? That means you should wait longer to get a car, or you need to spend less on certain things, or you need to get another job or a new job. You need to do something. This just will show you what to do. Okay. So that's the explanation of the layout. Now we're going to get into the steps, and there are 4 main steps to this. The first step is So we're going to come over here to these blue cells here. All you need to do is right now, put in how much money do you have in your checking account right now. Let's just say it's $300. And same for your savings account. Let's say you have just $400 in your savings account. As you can see, these updated, but they'll update more as we move forward. Okay, that's the first step. Put in how much money you have right now. The next step is to put your name. I'll just put me, and then you can put your spouse here. But for this video, I'm just going to do it for one person, just to make it a little simpler, okay? My name is Will. Okay. All right, like I said, we're going to pretend we are in the month of February right now. But for this method to work most effectively, you need to do it at least 1 month before. So what you need to do is you need to go onto your banking your banking account, on whether you have an app on your phone or you go on your website, and the bank website, and you need to look at everything you spent. So this is probably the most tedious part. But after this, everything is made easy for you. So you need to look at everything that you spent once we get to the dollar destinations. But you also need to look at exactly how much did you make. So go back 1 month back in time on your banking account, and how much did you make? Write it down here. For this video, we're going to say about 1,500. If you are making $11 an hour and you're working 40 hours a week, you should be making about $1,500 after they've taken out taxes. So it's just a ballpark number. Okay, so $1,500. All right, let's move on to the next step. Charity and saving. Okay, why did I put these at the very beginning? For me, I like these are my goals. I want to be able to make enough money or not spend so much money so that I can give some money back to society, and so I can save some money. Okay, not everybody is in a good position to be able to put anything here. So maybe you right now, maybe you have to put 0, 0 for right now. But the goal one day later is everyone. Okay, so let's just forget about charity for now. Everyone needs to have the goal of being able to save money. So if you talk to any businessman, or if you listen to Dave Ramsey before, people say that if you can save 10% of what you make, that's a good number. So ideally, one day you would want to be able to put $150 into here, because that's 10% of what I made that month. Okay. But like I said, maybe we're not there yet. So maybe we just need to put 0, 0. So that's what we're going to do for right now. Next is rent. Okay, so I looked at a big city called Houston. I looked at the average rent. The average rent in the city of Houston is $1,233. The lowest rent in Houston is about $500. I'm going to go kind of somewhere in between. If you're only making $11 an hour, you probably can't do 1,233. You got to kind of meet somewhere in the middle there. So probably $800. Let's say $700 for rent. Okay, the average electricity bill in the city of Houston is about $156. Average water bill is about $30. For Wi-Fi, we're going to go for about $50. Phone bill, average phone bill for a single user is about $70 in America. Let's say groceries. When I was in college, I spent about $50 on groceries a week, and I didn't eat out that much because I couldn't afford it. So I'm going to say $200 for groceries per month. Car gas, let's say it's about $100 per month. All right. And as you can see, oh, something needs to update over here. Okay, here, I know it's wrong. Because I deleted, when I went back and deleted the spouse column here, these kind of got thrown off. So if you have trouble with that, just let me know. Send me an email and I can help you with that. But if you decide to do for only yourself, you know what? I'll put one for married couple, and then I'll put a template for individual. So how about that? So you won't have this problem. But let me fix this really quickly. Need to get rid of this. And if you know how to use Excel spreadsheets, then that shouldn't be a problem for you. But let's see here. Okay, now it's working. Okay. Okay, so I've updated, I've put in how much did I make in the month of January, how much did I spend on everything? And so far, after spending all those things, I still have $194 left, which isn't that much, I guess, if you think about it. So let's say I wasn't very frugal, I wasn't very responsible in the month of January. So I spent $100 on eating out, let's say $80, okay? I'm not that irresponsible, but and let's say I spent $80 on Starbucks and uh, I went out to the movies a couple times and I bought popcorn and candy, so I spent $40 on entertainment. Okay. And then also it was my dad's birthday, so I bought him a $35 coat, whatever. Okay, and then all I have to do. Okay, so I'll explain the other section later. I'll explain that later. As you can see, left over for my checking account for the month of January is now in the negative. So I look over here at my checking balance. Yeah, I still have money, but I went from 300 down to 259 in my checking account. I lost money in the month of January. I lost exactly $41 because I spent more than I made. So let's say I just continue that practice for several months forward. All I have to do is highlight everything I made and everything I spent. Let's go ahead and highlight everything. Okay. And once you highlight that whole first row, you go over here to this little blue square at the bottom right corner. You click it and you drag it down. And it just copies the number straight above it. Okay. So I'm repeating the same habits for several months. Let's see how much money I have by the month of September. Wow. Okay. So I lost $41 every month. I went from 300. I'm in the negative. I'm already in debt. I have negative $69 in my checking account. Thankfully, I have some savings, so I'm going to start pulling out of my savings. But the point of this is that I can't keep living like this. So the point is that you never want to see a negative sign in your leftover for checking column. Okay, it will happen from time to time, but whenever it does happen, you have to make sure it doesn't happen again. You're not repeating the same practices. It means you have to change some habits. So we're going to go back up, okay, because I can only live off this for so long. What do I need to change for the month of February? So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this down to February. Obviously, it's not going to be my dad's birthday again 1 month later, so I can get rid of that. Okay, so now I've only lost $6 for the month of February. And man, I probably should not be going to the movies twice and getting popcorn. If I'm only making $11 an hour and only working 40 hours a week, there's got to be a change, unless you want to just keep living the exact same way. If you're eventually you're gonna have to buy a car. You're gonna probably want to go buy a house or something. Something's gonna break and you're gonna have to fix it. And so you don't want to live spending exactly the same as what you're making. You want to live so that you can put something into your savings account for when those things happen, when your car breaks down, when something bad happens to the house. Okay, so what can I change and what can I not change? All right, well, I can't change these. These are 0. I can't change 700 unless I move in with my parents. You could change that if you're able to move in with your parents. That would save you a lot of money. Electricity, you can't change it too much. Water, Wi-Fi, you kind of need those. Your phone bill, you need that. I mean, maybe you can find a cheaper, but you're only going to be saving $20 here, $20 here, which is something. But what can we change more? That would be more effective. I think restaurants, Starbucks, and entertainment. These are the places that we need to start changing our habits. Okay, Starbucks. Do you go to Starbucks twice a week? Then you're probably spending close to $40 a month on Starbucks. If you're going there every day of the week, you're probably spending close to $100 per month on Starbucks. And by the end of the year, it's going to be $1,200. So let's say, even though it's difficult, I know it's hard for some of y'all, we need to cut back on the Starbucks. So let's not go cold turkey though, because I know some of y'all gonna have those jitters as you're trying to get to work. So let's say let's only go to Starbucks once per week. That's gonna be $20 by the end of the month. Okay, $20 by the end of the month. So now you've saved $60. So now look, this went from when you were spending 80, look, you lost $6. Now you're only going to go there once a week. Okay, so $20. Now you're making $54 a week. Okay, let's drag this down. What if we did this every month? How much money are you going to have by September? Again, let's see how much of a difference that makes. Now you have $691 instead of negative money. Let me change this back to 80. If you were to keep getting Starbucks the same way you were before, yeah, your money would be going down. Okay, you'd be going from 300 down to 211. But if you were to, so by September you'd only have 211. But if you were to change it to $20 a week, which is just once a week, you would be increasing money, and you would be able to actually make some goals for yourself. You went from 300 and you doubled your money. You have more than double your money. You have $691. Okay, so that's how big of a difference a small change can make. How about restaurants? Do I need to be going out to eat? How often would this be? This would be twice a week. About. Let's cut it back to once a week. Okay, so $40 per month. Let's see how big of a difference it's making. Instead of twice a week, I'm going out to eat once a week. Now I have over $1,000 in my checking balance by the end of September. Last one, entertainment. Do you have, if you have Disney Plus and Hulu and Netflix, and maybe there's some other entertainment accounts that you have, but you forgot about it because you haven't used one in several months. You need to look at your checking account, at your history, and see, is there anything you're still spending money on that you're not even using anymore? Maybe all you need right now is just Disney Plus. So now this cuts it back to $8 per month. And you don't need to be, having all these different accounts. Now you have 1,200. So these small changes for things that you don't need, but you only want, now you can actually start making goals for yourself. Okay, so again, these are projections. If you were to, so by the end of each month, you should look at, you need to make sure, and you need to check, okay, I only spent $200 on groceries. Did I spend more? Okay, maybe I spent more. Okay. Oh, I spent $207 on groceries. So after each month, you need to go back and adjust the previous month by looking at how much you actually spent. How much did you spend on gas? Oh, I only spent $93 on gas this time. Okay. Restaurants, okay, I went a little bit above and beyond because it was my friend's birthday, so I spent, I don't know, $57 on eating out. So again, if you want to reach the goals that you have, you need to pay attention to how much you're spending. Okay, let's talk about these two columns. We're almost done here. Let's talk about these two columns. And if you ever have this line pop up, just click here. You want to get rid of it. Click on borders and click the empty one. Clear borders. Okay, now it's gone. All right. What else are you spending on a regular basis? That's what these two columns are for. Let's say you regularly also get boba drinks. You get a boba drink at the end of each week. By the end of the year, that's going to add up to about $500. But if you do get boba drinks at the end of each week, you're probably spending $20 a month. So that's something that you got to take into account. And then you got to drag it down. So you grab this little, you grab this little blue square at the bottom, you drag it down. Okay, so instead of making $126 each month, whoops, give me 1 second. Instead of making $126 each month, it bumped down to $106 each month. So you're only going up that much. Okay. So that's what these two columns are for. If there's something else that you regularly spend, you need to add it here. If you find something else that you regularly spend on, you need to right-click here, insert one column on the right. And now you have another one. So if you need to keep adding categories because you realize that you're regularly spending on something in particular, you need to put it here, put it here, put it here. Now, this section is for things that you do not regularly spend. So again, this was for my dad's birthday. I bought him a $35 coat. Okay, I'm not going to do that every month. So I don't need to make that, or like birthday gifts. Like I don't, that wouldn't be very effective because I'm not always spending money on birthday gifts every month. Instead, if it was a big purchase that you made only once and you don't do it that often, you put it here in the others section, okay? And maybe it was also Mother's Day, and so I spent $40 for Mother's Day that month. So you can just keep adding in that same month, and then also if you don't want to forget what it was, so like 3 months 3 months from now, oh, what did I spend $35 on? You right click on this, you scroll down, insert note, dad's birthday. And so it has this little black triangle, and if you just hover over it, it shows you what it was for. Okay. Again, I'm going to right click, insert note, Mother's Day. So you want to use notes in the others section. Otherwise, you just have a bunch of numbers and you can't remember what they were. Okay, now that I've adjusted what I'm spending, this is the last step, guys. Just bear with me. Now that this is I've adjusted what I've been spending because I want to make money instead of losing money, I can actually start putting things into my savings account. I come out with $126 every month. How much can I put into my savings? To be honest, you want to put as much into your savings as you can. So can you put 10% of your paycheck? Well, no, you can't, because 10% would be 150. So that's okay, but you can put something. That's important. So let's just put 5%. What's 5% of 150? 1,500? 5% would be $75. Okay, so let's go back over here to our savings and let's start putting money away into our savings. So I'm going to put $75 here. I'm going to drag it down. Okay, I'm going to put $75 every month into my savings account. Now let's come over here. Leftover for checking, you can see these decrease down to 51. But look, my savings account is going up. Okay, I'm gonna delete these again. Okay, I'm gonna put them back at 0. You can see the savings account is just 400, 400. A year from now, I'm still only gonna have $400 in my savings. But if I start putting something in there, just 5% of what you're making, that's all it takes, $75. By September, you won't have 400, you'll have $1,000 in your savings account. And now if your car breaks down, you don't have to worry. Now, if you have a leak in your house, you're not going to have to call mom and dad like you do every time. So that you want, in fact, Dave Ramsey says that college students need to have $1,000 in their savings account. So 1,000 is actually a really good number for emergencies like that. Well, that's the whole template. Please let me know if you have any questions and put any comments. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much.